Hello everyone and welcome back to API Test Hub. In this series of API testing with Postman, we have already covered three endpoints of our product's API that were post endpoint for creating a new product and two of these get endpoints for fetching the details of the product. If you have missed those videos, you can always go to my channel and see this particular playlist, which is API testing using Postman. You will find all the videos inside this one playlist. You can go and watch the previous videos. So in this particular video, we will be covering the another endpoint, that is a put endpoint, which is used to update the product details. So we have created the product, we know that we can get the list of the products, but if we want to change some things in the product details, so for that we will be using this put endpoint. So as you already know that I have created this test case. So for this put endpoint as well, I have created test cases and you can see it here that I have provided the test case ID with description, what it is doing and what is the expected output. So our test cases again will be divided into two scenarios, the positive and the negative scenarios. So you can see it here, there is a 200 scenario. There are two, basically 200 scenarios, and rest of the ones are 400 error scenarios. So let's begin and create our first request for put request. So as you know that to create a request we can always follow the swagger. So here we know the method is put and this is the endpoint and it is running on localhost 8081. So let's go to the Postman and see how we can do that. So we know that we have already created these different folders, right, for create products, fetch products and fetch a specific product. So I have also created a different folder for update product. So let's go into this folder and create a new request. So I can always go to my previous request. So this one is similar to my create request, right? So what I can do is I can just make a copy of this and I can put it here. So this saves me a lot of time to create a new request. So here the only change I need to do is the put one and I have to go back to see in my swagger what else I need to give. So here it is expecting ID. So I need to provide ID here. Instead of add, I need to provide ID. So before doing that, let's go to our fetch products and see how many products are there in our list. So if you go here, you can see that we have three products. One is laptop, another one is iPhone, and third one is water bottle. So let's, for example, I want to change the description of this particular water bottle product. So its ID is 3 and this is the current description I'm having. I can see only this particular one as well in the fetch product details for a specific product. So let's see here. From this particular, I'll get only the details of that particular ID. So here you can see that I'm getting the details of water bottle. As of now, it's saying plastic water bottle, something with Pokemon sticker, but I want to change it with something else maybe. I just want to make it as a plastic water bottle with green color instead of Pokemon sticker. So let's do that. So we know that this is the proper request body I need to give. So let's go back to our own put call. So here this will be the put, and inside the body what I need to do is I need to provide new details. I want this one to be having blue color. Okay, and I don't need to provide ID here because if I go to swagger again, I can see here that in the request body I don't need to pass the ID. So you can always come back into the swagger and see what is required. So everything else is same. I'm not changing anything else. I'm just changing the description. Rest I'm passing everything as it is. So let's see what I need to do is it's the product 3, right? So let's change the description and update the details. So let's send it. So you can see it here. It's changed to whatever I have done now. It's changed to blue color. So let's go back to our get call again. So we know that this is our get call. So you can go back there. Earlier it was this description, right, with Pokemon sticker. Let's see now what's the updated one. You can see it here. It's now plastic water bottle with blue color. Okay, now this one, let's rename it to the one we have here. This is TC301. So we will rename it as TC301. Another test case I need to do here is another 200. I can mark it as passed also. So this 200 case, I can mark it as passed. Now there is one more 200 case scenario which says, what if I'm updating only one field? So what will happen in that case? It should give me the previous, which I haven't changed. That condition, that detail should be the same as earlier, but whatever I'm changing right now, it should update the particular field. So let's do that. So here what I can do is I can make a duplicate copy of this, and let's see the what is the test case ID. It's 304. So let's name it as 304 here. So now let's go to body. Instead of doing all these updates, what I'll do is I'll only update the quantity. So let's see what happens in that case. So what I'll do is I'll comment all these. Let's comment everything else and just give the quantity as 2. So let's see what will happen in this case. So let's send the request. So it's giving me an error as of now. So it's unexpected error. So it means if I'm doing only one change, it's not happening. So it could be one more reason in here. So let's analyze that. So if I go back to Swagger here, right, so here I can see the schema first. So if you go to schema, you can see that all these are mandatory fields. So whenever I'm updating some details, right, I need to pass these always. I can update these records, but I have to pass this always because these are mandatory fields. Whenever I'm updating, I need to pass them. So let's do that and try to. So what I can do is I need to pass all these mandatory ones. So name, price and quantity are mandatory. So let's pass those mandatory fields and don't pass the description. So because description is not mandatory, right? So let's do that again. So yeah, it worked. So have you understood? So it wasn't a bug actually. So whenever you want to update something, you always have to check the schema as well. So if the fields are mandatory, you have to pass those fields no matter you want to change it or not. If they are mandatory, you should be passing those fields. So if you go back here, you can see that if I'm not passing the description is same as before, but the quantity has changed to 2. You can always update the things, but you always have to pass the mandatory fields. This thing you need to keep in mind always follow your Swagger for more details. So let's save this one as well. So now going back towards the negative scenarios. So let's go back to negative scenarios. So what I can do is I can make a copy of these and put into the negative scenarios folder. So let's see what is the negative scenario here. So here negative scenario, first one is, what if I'm passing the ID which does not exist and I'm trying to make update for that ID. So it is 302 test case, and so body will be same. I'm trying to edit, I'm trying to update, say record number 34, the ID 34. So we know that there is no ID with 34. Like with 30 there is no product. We can go back to our fetch products and see how many products are there, and we know there are only 3 products, so there is no 34th ID. So it should give me 404 error. So yes, it's giving me 404 error, the product not found with ID 34. So it is working as expected. So I can mark it as passed. The another few are like, what if I'm passing this ID as null? I'm not passing any ID, or I'm passing something else instead of ID. So let's test that case. So let's save this one first and create a duplicate copy of this, and it is 303. Let's mark it as 303 here. Now, what if I'm passing here as test or maybe null? Let's pass it as null. So let's see what happens. So it says it's invalid format. It's a 400 bad request. So if I pass something ABC here, so let's see what happens. It's giving me 400 bad requests. So it is working as expected. So we know that this partial one we already tested, so we can mark it as passed. Then we have few other scenarios. What if I'm passing I'm not passing the authorization header? It should give me the error as 401. So let's do that quickly, because if we know that we have done it so many times earlier, but for each and every endpoint you have to check all these things, because it happens sometimes that a few of the things are working fine for few of the endpoints, but same things are not working fine for the other endpoints. So you need to check all the possible scenarios for all the endpoints. So just keep in mind that if it's repeating, do it, because sometimes you can find a bug by doing that particular testing. So let's check this authorization one. So what if I don't pass the no authorization here, and I'm passing a correct ID 3. Okay, so now let's send it. So yes, it's giving me a valid error, which is 401 unauthorized. So it is also marked as passed. And the last one is, what if I'm giving invalid price here? So we know that we can update the price as well, right? So let's make a duplicate or copy of this one and give everything else is correct here. Basic auth is there, and in the body, let's give negative price here. So I'm giving everything to the point, but the price is in negative. So it should give me something invalid error. So no, it's not giving me invalid error here. If you see here, it's giving me 200, and you can see the price. It hasn't updated the price here. So it's a bug here. So if you see, when I was creating it, it was working fine. But when I'm updating with some invalid price number with minus in it, or let's see, what if I'm giving here, so I'm giving minus, right? So it's not working as expected. So let's give here something ABC in like this. Let's see what happens. So is at this time it's giving me 400 bad requests, but when I'm giving minus 1200 or something like that, it's working, like it's giving me 200. So which is not correct. Let's try to change it to something else as well. So no, it's not updating my request, right? So whatever was there before, it's giving me the same request. So you can see that it's a bug here. When I'm updating the price, it's not allowing me to update the price. So I can mark it as failed. It is not giving valid error when a negative price is passed in the request body. So it is failed. Why? Because whenever I'm passing negative, it's failing, but it is working fine. You can also mention here, it is working fine when we are passing, it is working fine when string is passed. So this is the one which failed here, right? So these types of tests you can do while doing your testing here. So you can see that the same thing was working fine in the create products, but it's not working here in the edit one. So don't ever assume that everything will work fine even if it's repeating. Do it, because as a tester you need to see each and every functionality of the API or whatever the software or the application you are testing. So you have to be very vigilant while doing your testing. So by this we have completed our update product. We put in endpoint called testing. So you can see that we have find many bugs in our all the endpoints, right? So what we will do, we will create the bugs for these endpoints. We will see how to create those bugs in Jira in like upcoming videos, and we will assign those bugs and create the priorities as well for those products. So that was all about this put endpoint. So if you have any questions, so let me know in the comment sections. And in the next video we will be covering the delete endpoint. So that will be the last endpoint for this particular API testing series. And in this particular series we will also cover the Postman assertion and all the things we can do with the Postman using this API. So that was all about this video. Thank you so much for watching, and keep learning. Thank you so much.